But there is another way that people are trying to honor Kathy Goertzen, and Dan Watson is behind it. Dan is a sophomore at WSU, Kathy's alma mater, and boy, was she proud of her Cougs, and I have a feeling she'd be proud or smiling at what you're up to, Dan. Describe what you're trying to make happen in honor of Kathy.
Well, right now, there's a residence hall under construction at Washington State, and it's going to be completed in about 2013, should be open next year. And as of right now, it doesn't have a name. It's only supposed to be called Northside Residence Hall. So last night, I started this petition, it's a Facebook page called Name the New Residence Hall at WSU Goertzen Hall. I didn't know how it would work out. I didn't know if it was just going to tank. But overnight, I have received over 2,600 people like this page. I received a message yesterday to contact someone from the Daily Evergreen, the WSU school newspaper. I'm meeting with one of their writers later tonight for an interview. So it's just blossomed massively, and I had no idea it would even happen like this.
I've put a link to your petition and your Facebook petition, Dan, on my Elisa Jaffe KVI Facebook page. So if folks want to find out and they want to support you in your efforts, they can just sign on Friend Me and they can get through and do that. But what is it about Kathy Goertzen that made you want to do this? Had you ever met her?
No, I hadn't. I grew up in Kent, south of Seattle. I watched KOMO 4 all the time, but that was a while ago, and I was actually on my way to Pullman with my dad coming back to school on the 13th when I heard that she had passed on, and just hearing all that support on the radio, just everyone calling in, it seemed there's something had to be done, and I didn't know what exactly. So over the next couple of days, I just developed this idea that this would be the one way I could try and make a difference somehow, try and get this hall named after her, and leave some sort of legacy that she deserves here at WSU.
Are you a communication student?
Right now, yes, I haven't actually declared a major, but I am looking into radio broadcasting at the moment. So I have some sort of a link through that, I suppose.
Well, you're doing pretty well so far in our book, as you can imagine. So if you're trying to get a job, good job, my friend, because a lot of folks are listening to what you're doing. Tell us about the response. You said more than 2,000 people have already liked your idea of renaming this hall after Kathy Goertzen. What kinds of notes and comments are they making?
It's been crazy. I didn't expect it to take off like this at all. I started it last night, and before I went to bed, there was maybe 600 or 700 people that liked it. And I woke up this morning, and it was well over 2,000, And so in the past couple hours, it's continually growing. And people just saying, this is a wonderful idea. This would be a great tribute. Her family would be so blessed by this, so proud of her. I haven't even really received no negative criticism at all. I saw one person said, if he was here in Pullman, he would get a big cardboard sign and write Kathy Goertzen Hall on it and just go nail it up to this new hall, all the new construction that's going on. So it seems just outrageous, overwhelming support that I've heard for this idea.
Oh, I think it's fun. So who do you have to get permission from? Have you figured out the red tape that you'd have to get through to really make this happen besides getting the support on Facebook?
Yeah, there's an actual formal process to go through that I've discovered for naming a facility here. I need several letters of recommendation, 2 just from alumni or faculty or staff. One letter I need from the area supervisor for the building being named. I guess at this point I would just assume that's the person who's supervising the construction of the building. I'm not exactly sure.
Uh-huh.
And then one other letter from either a dean, vice president, or a chancellor. And then once I have all of those letters, I submit those to the the facility names committee. And it's a 10-member board. I submit all my application to the chair. And once they review all the evidence, then they vote on whether or not the hall should be named in her honor.
So if you had everybody who's on television in Seattle write you a note, what kind of a difference might that make, Dan Watson?
I would think that would be great. I sent Dan Lewis a message on Facebook today. I sent one to Eric Johnson as well. I knew, Dan Lewis, when I was listening to this report, going to Pullman, the relationship they had, I would think he would be overwhelmed by this. So if any kind of support I can get all over the state would really be helpful. at this point.
Well, I'll make sure Dan knows and checks because he's been, very busy, as you can imagine. They're helping to plan Kathy's memorial for this Sunday. They're trying to make it be a celebration of her life. I hate to use the word memorial because the whole family just wants to make it be a beautiful event. Eric Johnson is an absolute incredible wordsmith, so he'll be writing words to speak about, Kathy, and Dan will be sharing stories because he absolutely adored her. She sat by his side for many years, made him laugh, watched him cry, not him watching her cry. She watched him cry. So I'm sure he would be behind this 100%, but he's got a lot of things that he's dealing with these days, as you can imagine.
Oh, so, of course, yeah.
How far are you going to take this, kiddo?
As far as I possibly can. I want to see this building named. So if I have to set up a booth in the student union building to get people's attention, if I have to go and knock on the president's door, whatever it takes.
Well, I think it's just an amazing idea. I think Kathy would be so happy, so honored, and just appreciate it that a sophomore at her alum, a fellow Cougar, would think to do something like this, a young man who didn't even know her. And like I said, on my Elisa Jaffe KVI Facebook page, I have put a link to your Facebook petition, and I hope people will go there, and I hope they will help you make this happen, Dan. You've got to feel proud.
I don't know. I don't know what to think about it at this point, really. I just want to see it happen.
Well, we want to see it happen, too. Dan, thank you for thinking of our good friend. Thank you.
Thank you.
Time for traffic.